So when I first, so just to be clear, like aliens had not been on my radar.
It wasn't your thing. Yeah.
No. Like I'd always like, when I heard about crop circles and stuff, I was like intrigued, but just not on my radar. I hadn't thought about it at all.
Wuthering Heights was taking priority or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, but like in terms of like I'd had my awakening. But that, the aliens were just not part of what I'd been interested in, what I'd been pursuing. And so I had not taken LSD for a long time. I used to take it a lot when I was younger, and then I had a long period I didn't take it because I went into recovery from addiction and stuff. And then I realized I wanted to do psychedelics consciously again. And so I did it right before I moved to Costa Rica with a friend of mine who was coming out with me to help me move. And I took them and we went to like the other side, when you like can't really talk. We were like communicating telepathically. And I was able just to write something down, which when I kind of came back to like material reality, I looked down and I'd written, "The aliens are waiting for us to wake up." Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but it means something. And so then a couple of weeks later, I fly to Costa Rica to this place called Santa Teresa on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica. It's quite a famous surfing town. I took acid again with the same friend. And the revelation was, I said to my friend, I was like, okay, this place is on a crystalline grid connected with other dimensions of the universe. And there's aliens here. And there's some sort of highway of aliens here. And loads of people in big tech are going to move here. And he was like, okay. What? Okay. Anyway, so during my time there, Jack Dorsey, who obviously started Twitter, moved there. Like the Google people bought land there. Like, so that came true. And then in 2021, so I'd been there for about 2 years. I had a friend staying. And by the way, like preceding this, I'd seen UFOs in the sky, but like, I didn't really know what to make of it, because most people who've lived there for a long time have seen things, have seen like orbs of light, UFOs, but like no one really talks about it because it's just kind of like part of living there. Mm-hmm. So this had been happening. I'd also, when I'd taken psychedelics, I was only taking mushrooms there intermittently. I had the deep intuition that I was communicating with higher intelligence because I would be getting these transmissions. First of all, I started speaking light language. I started speaking like in tongues, right?
Glossolalia, at least.
Huh?
Yeah. Glossolalia, at least.
Right.
Yeah. Keep going.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
It's kind of just say gibberish and it means something to you. So like Dawkins would be like, that's glossolalia. But okay. There might be more to it. Keep going.
It kind of, when I speak light language, it kind of sounds like an ancient language, almost like a language from like Mesopotamia. It has that kind of feel to it. Anyway, so this was happening, and I would be getting these profound transmissions on like the fall of patriarchy, or like the evolution of planetary consciousness, and like AI, and just like really like macroscopic grand ideas all about like utopia and revolution and evolution. And I had this intuition I was communicating with higher intelligence, but I couldn't be sure. I'm just going to have a sip of water.
Do your thing. It's funny. I mean, I trip a lot less now than before, and these kind of it downloads, whatever you want to call it, come up often. Where it's just like, holy shit, we are in an interesting scene in the film. This is crazy. All right, keep going.
Okay, so that had been happening. That's the kind of the pretext. Fast forward to like August, September 2021. I had a friend from LA staying with me for like 6 weeks, and so like towards the end of her stay, we decided we're going to take mushrooms, but like a microdose. I'm talking like 300 milligrams to like journal and heal and play music and you know what I mean, and meditate. So we did that, and I'm like lying in bed listening to music, and suddenly in my kind of my head, in my mind, in my third eye, if you will, this holographic praying mantis being just like appears and starts like transmitting information to me. And I was like, because I'd said to my friends, I was like, Zoe, just to let you know, sometimes when I take psychedelics, I think I speak to aliens. She was like, okay. Anyway, it starts happening. I'm like receiving these transmissions, but this time I see this praying mantis being, which is the first time that had happened. And I had the sense that this being was like highly advanced, like advanced. And then I said to my friend, I was like, we've got to go to the beach right now. I was like, it was just this pull. It was like this deep magnetic pull. I was like, we've got to go to the beach right now. So we go to this part of the beach that is kind of not frequented very much and has a really powerful energy. And we're sitting, watching the sun go down. I'm like seeing spirals of binary code in my head at this point. Okay. I was like, and I could feel, it was like an almost palpable sensation of like a consciousness like melding with my own mind. It was actually really frightening. It was like I felt like it was in this thing was like inside my brain, and we could see flashing lights on the horizon. And my friend was like, "Hey, wait, what's going on with these lights?" And we were watching them like zoom about, and I was like, "Well, I just want to make sure they're not fishing boats, you know," because I was like trying to stay grounded. Anyway, it soon transpired they were not fishing boats because the light had fallen at this point and we could see them zooming around like in the sky and like getting really bright and then disappearing again. So this whole like kind of saga goes on for about, I would say, at least 90 minutes, possibly even 2 hours. We're like connecting with the lights in the sky. At one moment I received this like transmission. It was like a download of information. I can see like Egyptian glyphs in my head. There was also like the night sky was lighting up as if there was lightning in the sky, but there was no thunder. It was like crazy. It was like the energy was just off the chart. We were also feeling a profound sense of like Christ consciousness. Like we were like crying. Like we were crying at this point, like because of the vibration was so high. It just felt like unconditional love, like everything was going to be okay. It was just like beautiful. We also were pretty sure at this point that we were communing with aliens. Like these were extraterrestrial beings and they were in the sky and they were benevolent. Okay, so there's a light on the ocean. It was like red and blue and it was flashing. And I was like holding hands with my friend and I was like talking to this light. I was like, we are your ambassadors on Earth. Like you can come over here. Like we are your ambassadors, like getting really carried away. Anyway,
it's safe. Come hang out.
Yeah. Like not knowing, like, you know, be careful what you wish for because it might come true, sort of thing. That's what I learned from this experience. Because about 5 minutes later, there's this like flashing light on the beach, like 50 meters away from us. And I look over at this light and I'm like, hey, what is going on? This is like this. It looked like a man with a torch, like a flashlight, sort of on the rocks. My central nervous system goes into high alert. Like I didn't know how to handle this energy because I'm also thinking maybe this is actually a man on the beach and we're two women in Latin America at night. Like this is not safe. So I'm like freaking out. My friend was fine. I was like, no. Like we're not staying here. This is not up for debate. So we retreat to my quad bike and I put my keys in the ignition and just turn on the light. And so I felt a bit safer. Anyway, this light is just like coming towards us at speed and it's blue. And it's probably about 15 meters away from us at this point. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, holy shit, I think this is an actual alien. Like there was a flashing light. It had like a flashing light in its heart center and like two lights here. And it seemed to have like a humanoid figure and it's like flashing lights at us. My friend's filming it on her iPhone and then a coconut falls out the tree and hits me and we scream and I drive away. Mm-hmm. So that was the first encounter. We knew that we'd encountered like alien intelligence, okay? Fast forward a week later, and in the meantime, like my friend and I had been receiving all these like downloads about like the Galactic Federation and all the shit. About a week later, some friends of mine came round to my house and we told them what happened, right? And we all had the impulse to go down to the beach again. This time there were no mushrooms involved. There's 7 of us on the beach. One of my friends is a professional meditator. Like he lived in Tibet for like 3 years. So he's like anchoring the energy. We all start chanting Om and we're all like holding the frequency of cosmic consciousness and peace, like a kind of CE5 situation. Mm-hmm. Within 15 minutes, 2 blue lights appear in the sky, drop down towards the ocean and come towards us. They're like hovering orbs of blue light. Okay, they come closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. We are like on this vibration again of like super high consciousness. One of my friends is like just like humming really high. Anyway, these lights get towards us and suddenly in front of us are 7 men wearing like camping gear. It was the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. wearing camping gear, like the most inappropriate attire for Costa Rica you can imagine. One of them had a log on its back, and we all just go silent. I'm feeling traumatized because of the cognitive dissonance I'm experiencing. I'm like, fuck, everything up until now was a hallucination. Like nothing that's happened is real. They were just people, and this is a hallucination. Then these men start walking on the water like Jesus motherfucking Christ, and then dematerialize into balls of light. Okay, and they're all blue. It's all blue, and I can see that there's like a holographic. They're like holographic beings of light, and I can actually see that they have humanoid figures and very long arms and very long fingers and very big heads, like very long, like very classic, like alien vibes. To be honest with you, God, I'm actually feeling the energy of them as I'm like talking to you right now. For whatever reason, I'm able to communicate with them telepathically. So my friends are asking me questions and I'm communicating with them and they're giving me answers, just like it's all telepathic. So I asked them, where are you from? Immediately, Sirius. They said, we're from Sirius. We're from the 6th dimension. We're from Sirius. Okay. And we start communicating with them, and they start sending me information about the mission on Earth to raise consciousness. And they said we're from the future, and basically gave me all this information about time that was sort of transcended linear language, right? But like, there is a reason I'm doing a PhD in philosophy and physics, and my background is in English literature, right? It's like I have received a lot of information from beings that are not of this earth, that have given me information about the nature of time. So this was happening. They also performed 2 healings on 2 of my friends who were like crying and sort of having these orgasmic throes of ecstasy. And this experience went on for about 15, 20 minutes, and then they just sort of receded and faded away.